So yesterday we sent an email to everyone about like the Google Classroom and Zoom information. If you didn't get it, I'm going to share my screen right now and then you guys can join the Google Classroom. So that's the code.
Yeah, we did already invite people in. It's just in case you didn't get it or didn't join yet, please check if you joined, because we see still quite a few haven't accepted yet.
I'm also going to send the link to join the classroom in the chat. So you can also join from there. Oops. Huh. Yeah, I want to wait. So on the Google Classroom, I also posted a PDF of what we're going to be teaching today. So if you want, you can print it out, but I'll be explaining everything from the PDF. The PDF also includes the homework and stuff, so yeah. Okay, I'll just put the code in the chat in case you haven't joined. Okay, so I'll just move from the screen. You can join from that code. So I'm gonna go to this week's content. Okay, so this week, the subject is going to be operations with fractions. So this is just going to be a really quick review. So first terms, a fraction is a whole or a part of a whole or a quotient of two numbers expressed as a over b. A and b are whole numbers and b cannot equal 0 or else it would be undefined. And a over b is also equal to a divided by b. So an example would be 2/5. A proper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is less than the denominator. Such a fraction has a value less than 1. So an example is 7 over 16. An improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator and it is greater than 1. So an example is 5/3. And a mixed number contains a whole number and a fraction, and it can also be written as an improper fraction. So an example is 4 2/3. Okay, so operations. Just saying this is a review, so you should have known this. It's just a review. So addition, if you have this addition and subtraction, if they have the same denominator, you just add or subtract the numerator. So for example here, a over b plus c over b, it would just be a plus c over b. And the same with subtraction, a over b minus c over b would be equal to a minus c over b. Now if you have different denominators, you'll have to convert the fractions so that the denominators are the same, and then you can add and subtract. So here, I want to give a few examples. So, okay. Here, so basically, let's say you have the numbers 2/3 plus 3/4. Now what you have to do is you have to make sure that the denominators are the same, and they're not the same. Yeah. So we can multiply. If you multiply a fraction, if you multiply the numerator and denominator of a fraction by the same number, it will be this equivalent to the original fraction. So you can multiply the first fraction by 4. So you will get 8 over 12. And the second fraction, you can multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. You'll get 9 over 12. And then now you just add the numerator and denominator, and you'll get 17 over 12. Same thing goes with subtraction. Multiplication now with the multiplication is pretty easy. You just multiply the numerators and the denominators together. So a over b times c over d will equal a times c over b times d. And then division is that is to divide by a fraction, you have to multiply the reciprocal of the fraction. So the reciprocal is the number that you multiply another number by to get 1. So like the reciprocal of 1/2 would be 2, because you'll have to multiply, if you multiply 1/2 and 2, you'll get 1. So usually you can just flip the number. So here you get c over d, you flip it and you'll get d over c. So a over b divided by c over d equals a over b times d over c, which equals a times d over b times c. So that was just a really quick review. Now I'll just move on to some problems that I'll explain. Okay, so here you go. So the first question. Peter has 2 cakes that are the same size. The first cake was chocolate, which he cut 12 equal parts. The second cake was marble, which he cut into 6 equal parts. His family eats 5 slices of chocolate cake and 3 slices of marble cake. Did they eat more chocolate cake or marble cake? So I'm going to give you a minute to do this problem, and if you finish it, you can like private chat it to me. And just saying, if you have any questions about this, you can ask Jennifer, because I'll be teaching. Okay, so I want to explain the problem now. So the first cake was chocolate, and there's 12 parts, and his family ate 5 slices of that, which means that they ate 5/12 of that cake. So, oops. They ate 5/12 of the chocolate cake. And then he cut the marble cake into 6 parts and ate 3 of it. So that means they ate 3/6 of the marble cake. So now you need to see which fraction is larger. So what you would do is you can convert 3/6. You can multiply the numerator and denominator by both by 2. So you'll get 2 over 2, and that equals 6 over 12. And since 6 over 12 is greater than 5 over 12, you'll get the answer to be marble cake. So That is the answer. Yeah, so most of you guys got that question right. So I'm gonna move on to the next one. If 3/8 of a number is 21 over 2, what is 1/7 of that of the number? So I'll give you some time to do it. You can just chime me the answer. Okay, so this question seems a bit hard for some people, so I'll explain it. So yeah, one thing I'd like to mention is that all your answers have to be simplified and it has to be an improper fraction in like competitions and stuff. So like you can't have your answer as like 9 over 12 because that can be further simplified to 3/4. So the answer will be 3/4, not 9 over 12. And you may get points taken off if this was like a competition. So let's say the number is x. So the number is x. So 3/8 of that number, which would be 3/8 of x, would be equal to 21 over 2. So first we need to find what x is. So what we can do is we have to isolate x, so we have to get rid of the 3/8. So what we can do is we can multiply this side by 8 over 3, because then 8 over 3 is the reciprocal of 3/8, which means that 8 over 3 times 3/8 will equal to 1. So you'll just have 1x, which is x. So since you multiply it by this side, you also have to multiply 8/3 on the other side. So you'll get 8/3 over here. Now you'll get x equals 21 over 2 times 8/3. So I think you should know this, but cross multiplication is a really easy way to like solve these questions. So what you would do is you can first, so basically you look at the two numbers that are diagonal from each other. So let's see, 2 and 8. So 8 is divisible by 2. So what you can do is you can cross out the 2 and you divide 2 by 2, which is 1. And you can also divide 8 by 2, which will be equal to 4. You can do the same thing with 21 and 7. You divide 7 by 7, which is 1. And you divide 21 by 7, and you'll get 3. So the answer would be x equals 12. Wait, no. Hold on, I think I had a typo here. Wait.
You said it's 7, like for the denominator of 8.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so it would be 7 here. You would 21 divided by 3 would be 7. So you'll get 21 divided, you would get 7 times 4, which equals 28. So now we'll have to find 1/7 of 28. So 1/7 divided times 28 would be equal to 4. So that would be the answer. Olivia, do you have a question?
Yeah, so like I did it in another way. So I basically just divided 21 from 2, and then I divided it by 3 and then times 8 and then divided by 7.
Yes, that also works. Both ways are good. Your way used decimals, I'm pretty sure, and it took more steps, but it's also like correct. Okay. Next question. 6 pepperoni circles will exactly fit across the diameter of a 12-inch pizza when placed as shown. If a total of 20 circles of pepperoni are placed on this pizza without overlap, what fraction of the pizza is covered by pepperoni? So this one involves some geometry. Not sure if you learned it yet, but I'll explain it later.
Olivia, do you still have a question?
No, I accidentally forgot to lower my hand.
That's okay.
Okay, so this question is pretty hard. So
Wait, can you wait a second?
okay.
Is it based on pi?
Yeah, but there shouldn't be pi in the answer. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this question now. Okay, so I'll explain. So let me just explain the formula for a circle. So the area of a circle would be pi r squared, and the r is the radius, which is half the diameter. So first we can find the area of the pizza. So that would be, the radius would be 12 divided by 2, which would be 6. So if we put it into the equation, we'll get 6 squared pi equals 36 pi. And most of the time you don't need to like round the answer, so you can just keep it as pi. So now we need to find the area of the pepperoni. So if the diameter of the pizza is 12, then that means the diameter of these pepperonis would be 2, because there's 6, so it would be 12 divided by 6. So you'll get 2. And that means the radius would be 2 divided by 2, which equals 1. So that means the area of the pepperoni is 1 squared pi, which equals pi. Now, there's 20 of these, so that means the total area of all the pepperoni would be 20 pi. Wait, no. Yeah, 20 pi. So now I'll have to find the area that, wait. Yeah, so now what we'll do is 20 over 36, because 20, wait, no, pi. It would be 20 pi over 36 pi, because 20 pi is the fraction with pizza, with pepperoni, and 36 pi is the entire area. And what you would do is you would divide the numerator denominator by 4 pi, and you can get 5 over 9. Okay, so the next question. An hour-long television program included 20 minutes of commercials. What fraction of the hour-long program was not commercials? This one shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so I got like 2 different answers. Okay, so number 4. So this one, most of you guys got it right. Some of you guys accidentally did like the opposite, but it's fine. So it's asking for how much of it was not commercials, not how much of it was commercials. So make sure you like read carefully next time. So basically, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So that means 60 minutes of it and 20. So what you would have is if 20 minutes of it was commercials, then that means 40 minutes, which is 60 minus 20, would not be commercials. So 40 over 60, you can simplify it by dividing the numerator and denominator by 20. You'll get 2/3. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure most of you guys should get this answer. You probably like just didn't read it carefully, so make sure you check next time. Okay, so I'll move on to the next question. Five, a container is 3/5 full of water. If 16 gallons of the water were removed from the container, it would be 1/3 full. How many gallons of water does this container hold when it's completely full? Okay, so this question seems a bit hard. I'll give you guys I'll give you guys like 30 more seconds to try it. And if you don't get it, I'll just explain it. Okay, so only a few people got it right. So this one is pretty hard, so I'm going to explain. So if you remove 16 gallons, it would be 1/3. So 16 gallons would be equal to 3/5 minus 1/3, because that would be the amount that would be removed. So 3/5 minus 1/3, you have to first have a common denominator, which will be 15. Multiply the numerator by 3 also, you get 9, minus 5 over 15, which equals 4/15, which means you removed 4/15 of the amount of water in there. So 4/15 x, we'll put x as the amount of water it can hold when it's completely full. So 4/15 x would equal 16. So what you can do is you can first multiply both sides. You can multiply both sides by 15 over 4, which is the reciprocal. And with cross multiplication, you'll get this side as x, and this side you'll cancel it out and you'll get 60. And you need units, so 60 gallons. Okay, I'll clear this now. So the next one, Roy planted corn on 2 segments of his land. If he planted 60 acres of corn, how many acres of land does he have? Okay, so a lot of people answered this already, so I'll just explain now. So let's say x equals the amount of land he has. So that means you'll have, so 2 sevenths of it would be 2 sevenths x, and that would equal 60. So now you just have to solve for x. So again, you multiply by the reciprocal to get by 7 times over 2. You have to multiply this side also. Cross multiplication, you'll cancel these out, so you get 1x, which equals x, equals over here 130. So 30 times 7 will equal 210 acres. Okay, so the next question. Peter's family ordered a 12-slice pizza for dinner. Peter ate 2 slices and shared another slice equally with his brother Tom. What fraction of the pizza did Peter eat? Okay, so I'm just going to explain it. This one, okay, so I want to explain now. So basically he ate 2 slices. So that means he ate 1/6 of it. Then he ate half of 1/12 of it because he only ate half of one slice. So that would be 1/2 of 1/12, which would equal 1/24, which means he ate this amount. So now you just add, you can convert this to 4/24. You multiply the numerator and denominator by 4. And you'll get 5/24. Okay. Next one. How many degrees of arc are there in 1/5 of a circle than in 1/6 of a circle? So this one is a bit confusing. I'm just going to explain it really quickly. So one arc is 306. So it would be one arc would be 360 degrees. Just to clarify that. So there's 360 degrees in a circle. So that might help a bit. So a lot of you guys have questions about what an arc is, so let me just quickly explain. So an arc would be a section of the circle. So for example, this would be an arc. So let's say this is about 1/5 of an arc. So the entire circle would be 360 degrees. So what you would do is you would find 1/5 of 360 degrees. So you would have 1/5 of 360 and you'll get 72. Now you'll find 1/6 of it. So it'd be the same thing. 1/6 of 360 and that would equal 60. And now all you have to do is you would do 72 minus 60, which equals 12. Okay, next question. On the blueprint, 1/4 inch represents 16 feet. If a driveway is 80 feet long, what is its length in inches on the map? Okay, so I want to try to finish all these problems and still have time for the Kahoot. So yeah, I saw some people finish it already, so I'll just explain. So 1/4, so we can make a ratio. So what we'll have is blueprint over the actual one, so real. So the blueprint would be 1/4 of an inch, and the real would be 16 feet. So we should convert that to inches. So that would be that would be 16 times 12, which equals, you can calculate it. So you should get 192 inches. So if the driveway is, so we'll have 1/4 over 192 equals, the real one would be 80 times 12 inches, which would be 960 over x would be the blueprint. So that will be the equation we'll have. So what we can do is we can solve the ratio by doing cross multiplication. We'll get 192 x equals 1/4 of 960. You'll get 240, which means x equals 240 over 192, which simplifies to 5/4.
Then do we have to write that as an improper fraction?
Yes, for most questions, unless they specify it, all answers should be written as an improper fraction. So Jennifer has another solution. So let me give you annotating access. Okay, you can annotate now.
Okay, so it's basically the same method of using ratios as Charlotte. You don't like have to multiply it by 12 and then divide by 12. You just keep the units in inches. So the blueprint, that ratio over the ratio of the real thing will equal as is given 1/4 inches over 16 feet. And that is also equal to, but we have to find x over the 80 feet. So now what we can do is multiply by 80 feet on both sides. And then, as you can see, the feet will cancel out. And then you're left with 80 over 64, which equals 5 over 4 inches.
Okay, so yeah, that method also works. So now, the next question. Jenny had a pizza that was divided into 8 equal slices. She ate 3 of them. Alex has a pizza that is the same size, but his is divided into 4 equal slices. He ate 3 slices of his pizza. Who ate more pizza? This one shouldn't be that hard, so I won't give you as much time to do it. Okay, so all the responses I got were correct, so I want to explain now. So this one shouldn't be that hard. So basically, Jenny ate 3/8 of her pizza, and Alex ate 3/4 of his pizza. So you would just compare these fractions. You multiply this fraction, the numerator and denominator, by 2. So you'll get 3/8 and 6/8, which means that Alex ate more. Okay, so the next question. This one, it's I won't read it, but it involves like a lot of calculations. So just try it and I'll explain later.
Can you make it a bit larger?
Okay. Hold on. I'll just write it out. Okay, so these calculations might take some time and I still want to have some time to do the Kahoot. So I'll just explain it right now. I'm gonna move it up here. Okay. So first you have to start from this over here. So 8 plus 1 over 8. So 8 equals 64 over 8. And 64 over 8 plus 1 over 8 equals 65 over 8. So now you'll have 1 over 8 plus 1 over 65 over 8. So 65 over 8 is on the bottom. So you would flip it and you'll have 1 over 8 plus 8 over 65. So I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna move all this up. Hold on. Is it okay if I erase this because there's not really enough space?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 over 8 plus 8 over 65. So you'll have to convert 8 so the denominator has 65. So it'd be 8 times 65 over 65. And if you calculate that, you'll get 520 over 65 plus 8 over 65, which equals 1 over 528 over 65. And once again, since there's a 1 over it, you just flip it and you'll get 65 over 528. Okay, so the last question. On the number line shown, the tick marks are equally spaced. What is the value of W plus P? Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly explain this question. So basically, there's 4 segments here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means each of the segments would be 1/4. So this would be 0. This would be 1/4. 2/4, which is equal to 1/2. 3/4, and over here it'd be 1. So what you would do, P equals 1/4 and W equals 1/2. So P plus W equals 1/4 plus 1/2. So 1/2 equals 2/4. So we'll have 1/4 plus 2/4, which equals 3/4. Okay, so that's all the questions I'm going to explain today. So now we're just going to do a quick Kahoot. It's just going to be calculations. There aren't going to be any word problems, I'm pretty sure. So let me just share that. Okay, so I'm going to put this code in the chat for everyone to join. And meanwhile, I'm just going to explain the homework. Okay, so I'll explain the homework later. I'm sorry if we end a bit late. So some people. Okay, so I'm gonna start now. I think you guys can still join. I'll just put the chat. I'll just put the code in the chat. So I'm gonna start. So it's gonna be operations. Should be just a really quick review. So first, simplify 13 over 78. Yeah, so the answer is 1/6 because you can divide the numerator and denominator by 13, and you get 78 divided by 13 is 6. So next, evaluate 2/3 plus 1/2. Yeah, so the answer is 7/6. You'll convert it to 4/6 plus 3/6, which is equal to 7/6. Next question. Evaluate 7 over 6 divided by 21 over 8. Alright, so how many people got that? The answer is 4 over 9. So you would multiply 7/6 by the reciprocal of 21 over 8, which would be 8 over 21. And then you can cross multiply 10 over 6 times 8 over 21, and you should get 4 over 9. Okay, next one, evaluate 5/3 times 6 over 25. Okay, so most serious got this right. The answer is 2/5. Next, evaluate 4/3 minus 1/2. Yeah, so the answer is 5 over 6. You would first have a common denominator, which is 6. So you have 8 over 6 minus 3 over 6, which is equal to 5 over 6. Next one, evaluate 5 over 8 over 15 over 2. Okay, so the answer was 1/12. So the division symbol is also the fraction symbol is also a division symbol. So it would actually be 5/8 divided by 15/12. And then you multiply 5/8 by the reciprocal, which is 2/15. And then you cross multiply and you should get 1/12. Next question, simplify 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1/2. Yeah, so the answer is 5/5, and most of you guys got that right. Okay, so next question, true or false? True or false, 5/3 is greater than 7/4. Yeah, so the answer is false because 5/3 you have the common denominator. It would be 20/12 is greater than 21/12, and 20 is less than 12, so it would be false. Next question, solve 1/2 x equals 3/4. Okay, so once you guys got this right, we would multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2, and you'll get 3/2. Alright, so last question. Solve for x. 2x equals 1/4 plus 4/3 x. Okay, so only one person got this right, so I just want to explain this question really quickly. Okay, so what you would do is you would first subtract both sides by 4/3 x. So 2x would equal to 6/3 x. So if you subtract 6/3 x minus 4/3 x, you'll get 2/3 x equals 1/4. And now you multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/2, so you'll get x equals 1/4 times 3/2, which equals 3/8. Okay, so in third, it's Christine. Second, Lynn. And first, Yo-Yo. So runner-ups are Daria and Sunny. So we're done. I'm just going to quickly explain the homework. So the homework So this is the homework. So these are the homework questions that are in that PDF we sent. We'll also put this on a Google form. So just put your answers that you got into the Google form, and then when you submit it, you'll see whether or not you got it right. The second thing is an optional AMC 8 test. So there's this ALPS website here that will bring you there. So this is just going to be the problems. I don't know if you can see that, but it'll bring you to a website that will have all the problems. And then this is the answer key after you're done. And this is the explanations of those questions. And in the test, you won't use you're not able to use calculators. So when you practice, you shouldn't use calculators. And we'll also be posting a pre-assessment soon. So please finish it by next class. So we're done. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions, you can email either one of us. I'll just put our emails in the chat. Jennifer, can you put yours in the chat also?
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, you can just email us.